The most embarrassing moment of the weekend was Trump's military parade flopping and Trump being endlessly humiliated by this puny, flaccid crowd. Now, I have to admit, I expected a sort of Russia, North Korea, Iran-style military parade, huge crowds, massive energy, authoritarianism just leaking out of everybody's ears. But at the end of the day, it was a tiny, puny, pathetic crowd, extremely low rent, extremely low energy. And I have to be honest, our military didn't even look that great. And this is not a commentary on the competency of the military to do their jobs. What I mean is, in this setting, it all looked low end because it's just simply not something that the United States should or is used to doing. We don't do this crap. But Trump wanted it, and it didn't come out well. Now, despite media avoiding mentioning the obvious, the crowd was teeny tiny. It was smaller than Donald Trump's hands. And here is video, and it just, everything about this is low energy, small. You see the bleachers there, just mostly empty. Trump reportedly furious about this tiny crowd. At another moment, the crowd is so silent and so sparse that you can actually hear the squeakiness of a tank rolling by, screwing up the streets, by the way. I've told you how the weight of the tanks messes up streets and then you got to pay to repair them. Here's a squeaky tank projecting force. I mean, just embarrassing. Here's a service member parading, holding a small drone in his hands. Wow, really, really cool. And then completely goofy in every way. Here are tanks rolling to the tune of Heart's Barracuda. Then it goes into Led Zeppelin. Yikes. Anyway, so then it goes into Led Zeppelin. I mean, I don't know how much of this crap I need to subject you to, but it was very, very bad. They also tried to play up the theatrics that we would expect with images meant to be considered patriotic and the whole thing. Here is Donald Trump standing at strange attention, hinged forward at the waist, with Melania to his left and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth to his right, as Lee Greenwood sings, and Pete Hegseth, I guess, singing along. They really look like buffoons. Yeah. As you can see, an absolutely electric atmosphere. And then almost beyond parody, in the middle of the parade, the public address announcer thanks Coinbase for sponsoring the parade.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Coinbase.
Oh, dear God. All right, so then we get to the attendance issue. We were told hundreds of thousands of people were going to be there, 250,000, record this, record that. Didn't happen, okay? Tiny, puny crowd. And J.D. Vance even sort of like alluding to this when J.D. Vance goes, oh, thanks to the thousands that came here. thousands. I thought it was going to be hundreds of thousands.
Well, let me say to the thousands of Americans who traveled from distant towns and across state lines to be here today.
Didn't they all travel across state lines? Because Washington, D.C. isn't a state. I mean, it's extraordinarily careful language, but sort of an acknowledgement that there's no one there.
This is your national capital. Welcome to Washington, D.C. We are thrilled to have you.
Yeah. All right, well. Certainly thousands. That sounds right. And then finally, here is Donald Trump looking absolutely miserable. Even suggestions that he was falling asleep at his own military parade. Just a pathetic failure.
In 1914, years of escalating competition between European alliances culminate in the outbreak of the First World War. The two sides engage in a savage war of attrition, defined by opposing trade.
All right. I think you get the picture. Okay. Pathetic, failed, embarrassing. 5 million people protested against Donald Trump on Saturday. And the crowd of 250,000 that he said he would have at his military birthday parade, only a fraction of it materializing, and pathetic in every way. Now, Donald Trump did speak at the parade, and I think it's worth just looking at a couple of the things he said. Are you planning any exciting trips? I've got a couple lined up, and one thing that I've learned is that being able to speak even a little bit of the local language can make a huge difference, both for your experience and how you interact with locals. And that is why I use Babbel. Babbel is the language learning app that gets you talking quickly. It has 10-minute lessons crafted by over 200 language experts. They're really built around real-world conversations, the things you would actually say when traveling, ordering food, asking for directions, chatting with locals. No gimmicks, no fluff, just practical language skills. And the best part is that you can start speaking in just a few weeks. I've used Babbel to help me get ready for trips abroad. It does a great job. I just arrive with a little confidence that I can navigate a new place with some basics. Without having to pull my phone out every 5 seconds. Babbel also has advanced speech recognition, which helps to fine-tune your accent as you go. It's like having a tutor in your pocket. And Babbel is giving my audience 60% off subscriptions at babbel.com/Pacman. The link is in the podcast notes. Rules and restrictions may apply.